In this episode we have again the Hayabusa project. The oil pan was removed, I went to a specialized workshop and it was repaired. Stay with us until the end because the Hayabusa project will be completed today. We arrived at the workshop where we were welcomed of beautiful work of art made only from keys. Master Dan made this Lamborghini replica only from the keys. He is also the one who repaired our oil pan. Part of the oil pan was cut out in the thread area. A new threaded tube was added, where a new drain plug will be placed. We start by removing the exhaust system. At the rear, we want to remove the right final exhaust. We have a clamp, I unscrew it, and I will leave it hanging for the moment. On the left side we have the same clamp, so the same procedure. Let's don't forget about the fixing point at the rear foot pegs. And that's it. The final exhaust was removed. Now I have to remove the exhaust manifold that is fixed with 8 bolts over 4 flanges. And let's not forget one last screw which I have here. I release the exhaust manifold gently with careful, will get it out of its place. And we prepare it. Prepare it? For what? Let's see it. It's a shame to have the exhaust removed and not trying to make it look better. In my case, I try to clean it with Harpic. It's a solution that I use for stainless steel exhaust and give good results. But as you can see, the exhaust has been repainted, work which we will do too. If you are careful with the spray can, you can have good results. We use a temperature spray paint, recommended for exhaust, and the results, please. I say they are pretty good. Small and big other problems. We have a broken thread in the engine fixing point. For this repair we need a simple Helicoil kit. With a drill we will enlarge the existing thread, we blow out all the metal residue to have a clean, well prepared surface for, you guess it, to make the thread for Helicoil. The thread is ready, let's put it on screw in place. And let's not forget the torque wrench. The cooling reservoir also has 20 years of work and I think it deserves a cleaning. Let's give it a try. First of all, we remove the hoses and we start to remove it from the bike. It is full of dirt in interior and deserves this cleaning. In the magic bottle I have Chanticleer, it's a degreaser made in Italy. I will shake this tank and the end result is not long before it appears. I am trying to show you how much mess has accumulated or how much mess has been cleaned. We will rise it and voila! Everything is ready for assembly. With the gasket ready, let's look at the oil pan. We have two types of screws, a shorter type and a longer one. The longer screw will be mounted near the exit of the pipe for the oil cooler. Previously, the oil pan was mounted with both gasket and gasket maker. Let me show you a solution to remove that gasket maker. We take WD-40, we put it on an abrasive sponge and we start rubbing. I strongly recommend you using longitudinal movements, exactly as I did it too. I degrease the area where I will mount the new gasket, and at the same time I clean the oil pan, I degrease it, and with the help of the air compressor the oil pan is 100% clean. I clean the screws of any trace of oil or dirt. I install then the oil pan. We put the gasket on first, then we put a screw that we'll use to secure the oil pan. Later we came with a screw in the opposite corner and we start mounting the other screws. Don't forget the torque wrench and tighten all the bolts to the recommended specs. And I'm done! Not really. We are reinstalling the exhaust system. The first thing we consider is to mount the final exhaust on the right side, which still remain attached because I had the oxygen sensor. Afterwards, we install the exhaust manifold with great attention to the bracket for the radiator and to that oil cooler pipe. I prefer in this stage to ensure only one part of the exhaust manifold, because if we accidentally don't align everything, it will be very difficult to take everything apart, reassemble it. But I'm lucky and everything fits perfectly for me. We tie the screw of the final right side exhaust, and after we are sure that everything is well fixed, it's the right time for us to fix the entire exhaust manifold. I prefer to hand tie the screw on one side, then I move on to the other side. And please don't forget to tie to the recommended specs. It looks perfectly! Let's move on to the radiator. This radiator has two fixing points on the motorcycle frame. It takes a little while to position it. We move on to installing the pipes. Each have a clamp hose that we must consider putting them on the same position. At the bottom we have one last radiator fixing bracket. And then we fastening all the three screws with a torque wrench. I installed the two electrical connectors. The first one is for the radiator fan and the second one is for the thermocouple. A little advice: when you get to tighten the clamps of the pipes, keep in mind to don't tighten them too much. It should be a firm fit. For the second pipe, the one next to the radiator cap, keep in mind that you have a bracket and get past that pipe over this bracket. Then insert into the radiator. And we reach the point where we need to mount the oil radiator. It has two fixing points on the top side and another one at the bottom. Its installation is very simple, but you need to keep in mind that those pipes have an O-ring. Take care to ensure that those O-rings are mounted on pipes. Everything looks perfect. Now is the right time to add the coolant. We use a funnel, but I added a hose because the position is a little bit difficult. We add coolant into the radiator up to the top. As in this case, every time I change the coolant, I prefer to add the coolant in the tank to a certain level over the maximum. Because when I start the motorcycle, a lot of the coolant will enter into the cooling system, can even reach the level below the minimum or maybe even to the empty. We add oil, but this time until the maximum level, and after we start the bike for a few seconds, we go back to complete it again, up to the maximum level. Also, after the first start, we also need to check the coolant level into the radiator. I was a bit scared when I saw smoke, but analyzing what I did, that I paint the exhaust manifold, it is normal to have a little bit smoke. And because we don't have fairings, we can start right. No, tomorrow we install the fairings. I mean, now, immediately. It's the second day and so far I progressed with this project. Last night we start the bike, I let warm up until the fan started and its coolant level stabilized to the maximum level, which is perfect. Today we still have to install the fairings. Let's do it! After installing the left side fairing, it is very difficult to have access to the coolant tank. That's why it's good to make sure in advance that we have maximum level of coolant. And this project arrived to an end. I leave you with a few frames of this beauty. We are not finishing here, we just started. To stay up to date, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much!